Today we will remove every part from the engine, which means a lot of work. Come check it out. Hi, welcome to the second part of the series where we put together my father's BMW 2002. We also have a channel in our language, but we want to share with the world how good are old cars. English is not my native language, so that means I leave the rest of the voiceover up to AI.
In the first episode, I mentioned that the engine fits perfectly in the trunk of my car. I don't plan on installing another engine to drive the rear axle, but we managed to find a 2-liter engine that should be in this model, which are extremely rare in our country. First, we have to take out the old, broken engine. Compared to modern cars, it's a joy. Just disconnect the fuel line, carburetor linkage, exhaust, crankshaft, gearbox mountings, and steering clutch.
Ty šrouby dávej na sebe s matkama, jo?
Jo. Jdeme.
Dobrý. Dobrý. Je to naše. Jo, oni jsou různý dílky. Ty dlouhý jsou vepředu. Můžeš zvedat? To je jenom psychovka. Zatím můžem?
Tak jedu?
Jo. 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 Koukni ještě, abys... Počkej.
And then just loosen the upper shock absorber mounting in 6 bolts on the axle, and you'll be left with this little gift.
Máme to, taky tam máme.
To separate the axle, just loosen the engine mounting. When the engine was out, Dad removed the steering clutch brackets so they could move freely in the grooves. It will make future reassembly much easier. We put the new engine on a stand. Because we don't have an X-ray vision eyes, we have no other option than to tear it all down and check the condition. The exhaust manifolds will go down first. It will be a quick job if it's lubricated. Not really. A couple of nuts had a rich history, so instead of a 12mm socket, I can use 11mm socket. One nut was super stuck, so we introduced her with new friend, the angle grinder.
Tady venku.
Next up is the valve cover, so we can see what the condition of the top end, how much carbon there is. I'll stop here and try to guess for yourself what it looks like there. For comparison, I'm giving a cut of the other engine, how it looked. If you like our videos, don't forget to click like and subscribe. This will help us show more people on YouTube how stylish cars used to be. It's unbelievable, but the head is in excellent condition, unimaginable for such an old car.
Nice.
The head is again from E21, this time without an outlet for the fuel pump. So we will have to solve it with an electric pump in the future.
To není vůbec napečený, to je krásný motor.
Continuing on when removing the spark plugs, it is a good idea to first vacuum the area around the spark plug because some dirt can get in there. And after removing the spark plug, you have it right in the engine.
Když je to takhle, tak už se tam dostanu hezky.
When the spark plugs are out, we spray the combustion chamber again so that the engine does not run dry.
Já nevím, jestli se má takhle točit nebo dolů.
Because according to the manual, the first cylinder needs to be set to the highest point the piston can reach. We can tell this thanks to this pin on the block and the mark on the pulley on the crank.
Tak, tady jsem na značce. A teoreticky.
Another check is the position on the distributor, which would be easier to see if there was a distribution rotor, not my father's finger.
Ten je takhle, ten kolík. Tak by to mělo být tak.
Alternatively, you can also test by pushing anything into the spark plug hole. But depending on how deep you go, you know whether you are at top or bottom dead center.
Dobrý.
Once we have it set, we can remove the camshaft cover, loosen the bolts, and remove the cam wheel. When you're working on such an old car, it's a good idea to get the original workshop manual or owner's workshop manual. There are a lot of good tips there, and as we say in our country, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Of course, in addition to buying it, I also recommend to read it, not just store it on the table. We attached it to the chain, so it cannot run from us.
Druhý. Tím.
Dobrý.
Čtvrtý. Pátý. Šestý. 7. 8. 9. A...
Máš to za co vzít? To je hezký.
It's not entirely clear in the video, but you can still see the original honing of the cylinder wall.
Nejsou opalený. Ty výstavky vypadají hezký. To těsnění je také hezký. Ale to auto je celý hezký. Mám radost.
Again, this is a long-standing engine, so it's important to drain the oil and look in the sump. One little piece of advice for future generations: don't be fools like us and drain the oil before you start turning the engine on the stand. You'll save yourself a lot of cleaning. Before the oil leaks out, let's put an informative window. Our new block is originally from the E12, which is 5 Series. But how come when I said that the head is from the E21? The engine code is important. In our case, it is the engine code M10B20. M10 is something like a surname. It is the first modern family line of BMW engines. B20 means petrol 20, so 2 liter. M10S were made in 4 displacements, 1.5, 1.6 was 1.8, and the top 2 liter. In total, over 3.5 million of these engines were produced between 1962 and 1988. And I'm glad that we have one of them at home. But how to get an engine from E12 to E10? In theory, it's easy. In practice, it's tricky because it has a slightly different oil sump and oil pump. But luckily, we have old engine like a donor. And what it looks like down under, just remove the oil pan and we will see. We are satisfied again. No large layers of deposits. Someone took care of this engine and changed its oil regularly. It also does not have any significant play on the crank holders. And if we look in the oil pan, there is this mud there. It is obvious that the engine has been running for a long time. We'll remove the rest of the stuff from the engine block, the brackets, and the oil filter. Then it's the water pump. As we say in our language, even a master carpenter sometimes cuts his finger. This screw is mine, so the score for broken screws between me and Dad is 1-1. Next up is the timing cover. Although it wasn't recorded on the camera, I admit that when you're taking something off, check that you've loosened all the screws. I overlooked one. After unscrewing the last of the Mohicans, it can be removed. The timing cover didn't really want to go down. And here we see the exposed timing.
Dobrý. Oni tam byly ty kliky. No. A ty máš moc velký.
It's a pleasure to work on an engine that's been stripped down like this. It didn't take even 2 minutes to remove both rails. Just remove the pins and it goes down. Someone has already changed both rails in the past, so they look like new. The guide is a swag aftermarket part. To remove the oil pump, the drive wheel must be removed. We did it in two, with one holding the crank so that it doesn't move and the other loosening it.
Myslím, že máš 3 ruce.
The oil filter and the housing also go down. We don't have much left there, so we'll remove the pistons.
Je to tvoje.
Jednička. Tak já musím na to položit.
Takhle.
Tak můžu... Dám.
Jo. Je to tvoje?
Ještě ne. Ano. Ještě kousek.
No, chytla hojnice.
Before removing the crank, we'll measure the axle clearance. It should be measured correctly on the flywheel, but this was already removed. Axial clearance is the allowed range of movement in this direction. The value according to the manual is shown on screen.
Počkej, já tady ti povolím ještě, jestli chceš. Ještě se vyjeď ven. Kousek.
Even though it is not visible on the watch, we repeatedly measured 0.12 of a millimeter, so the clearance was fine. On this engine, the axle play is handled by the central crank bearing.
Ale to je furt stejný, tak je to dobrý.
Tak.
To remove the crank, we have to remove the oil seal holder on the gearbox side. This sealing ring that prevents oil from getting from places where it should be to places where it should not be. Then you just need to loosen the crankshaft bearing holders, and the crank itself can go out.
Tak to ne.
Počkej,
Ty vole.
asi jsme... To bac. No, to tam je druhý.
Tak, už.
Jo, už je to. Tyhle ještě je gumový, krásný. Ty jsi moc rychlej.
Pojď, mám to.
Jo, tam už bylo venku. Počkej, už to asi bude. Ještě kousek. Je to naše. Tam zůstala jedna šála. A ty jsou krásný ty šály. Tam je houby. I ta axiálka je pěkná.
Now I'm measuring the tolerances on the crank mount with a micrometer. Since we don't know the history, it's better to measure everything carefully. The measured values were repeatedly in the range, so we can order standard size. Here we measure the fit on the connecting rod rings while the crank was still in the engine. The required tolerances are shown on display. We can also order standard size for the connecting rods.
This will be for today all. We little struggle with YouTube algorithm because it's not recommending our videos. If you find our video and watch it till here, you're a legend, thank you. And see you in the next video. We will clean some engine parts and we will start putting everything back together.